Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Asad Yaqub, your IELTS trainer from Lahore, Pakistan. Once again, I welcome you wholeheartedly to my academic IELTS reading video. In this video, I'm going to give you some techniques to deal with the question type which is called matching, where there is the list of researchers, list of scientists, list of experts, and you have to match them with the statements. So how to deal with this type of questions? Do you need to read the statements first or the passage first? All that I'm going to tell you in this video. If you guys like my videos, I request you all to share my videos, right? Because sharing is caring. If you like me and my videos, you must share them as well so that others get to know about IELTS and they also get their desired band. And you know, this is going to be a very kind act on your part to share this video with others. So guys, let's take a start. We go to the handout and there I'm going to sort out this type of questions for you with my unique tips. Okay guys, let's take a start. We've got this list of researchers. And basically whenever there is a question type, match each finding with the correct researcher or researchers. It means one statement can belong to two people as well. And by the way, we've got 5 options, 4 questions, and one option can be used twice as well, right? So this is the scenario. Now basically the passage is not in the order of the questions, but these names will appear in order in the passage. So the first thing which you guys need to do, you must underline all these names in the passage. So first of all, you must underline all these names in the passage. We got James, Coley, Lewis and Brooks, Mead, Bronson, and all that. And we've been through this passage already, so we know this. You can see here Charles Coley, means we can read his statement here. Then again Coley, we can read his statement here. As we go on, we can see this Lewis and Brooks. Do we have Lewis and Brooks? Yeah, Lewis and Brooks. Okay, so James, we didn't find James. Let's see, James can be somewhere in the beginning. Charles Coley, and there must be James. Yeah, William James. Yes, exactly. Got William James here. Charles Coley, Lewis, Mead. Lewis is here. Dunn is here. But do we have Dunn here? No, Dunn is not there. All right, all right. And if we move on to the next page, let's just see. Okay, quickly you got to do this, by the way. Right? Yeah, Coley once again. So maybe Coley may have 2 statements. Again Coley, right, Mead, yeah. So Mead is here, okay, and Brooks, Lewis, Brooks and Gunn here, right, and, okay, Bronson. Do we have Bronson there? Let me see. Yeah, Bronson is here. Bronson and all that. So the first thing is you need to underline all the names, and once you've underlined, now you can start with the first one. Okay, so you know we have the questions like sense of identity, child's awareness, at a certain age, observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. You can read all if you want to. So now we're going to read about James and Coley and see what do they say. William James introduced the distinction in 1892, and contemporaries of his such as Charles Coley added to the developing debate. All right, okay. So we don't have anything so far because it's just the introduction. Now we got Coley once again. They say Coley 1902 suggested that a sense of the self as subject was primarily concerned with being able to exercise power. All right. He proposed that the earliest examples of this are, now he's giving the examples, he means Coley, are an infant's attempt to control physical objects such as toys, or his or her own limbs, and this is followed by attempts to affect the behavior of other people. For example, now let's see 20. A sense of identity can never be formed without relationships with others. No. A child's awareness of self is related to a sense of mastery over things and toys and people. A child's awareness of self is related to a sense of mastery over things and people. And what do they say here? They say he proposed that the earliest example of this are infants' attempts to control physical objects. For physical objects such as toys, so for that they use the word things, or his or her own limbs. This is followed by attempt to affect the behavior of other people. For example, infants learn that when they cry and all that. So a child's awareness of self is related to a sense of mastery, means control over things and people. This is said by Colley, and this Cooley is here option B. So that's why for question number 21, the answer is B. Now we are not going to read this. Clear? Alright, that's a good start. Now we are left with sense of identity. At a certain age, children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior. Observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. Okay, that was Colley. Now, let's see. We underlined another one, that is Lewis and Brooks. So let's read about him if there is anything. Lewis and Brooks' gun, because we saw this at 2-3 places, suggested that infants developing understanding that the movements they see in the mirror are contingent on their own leads to growing awareness that they are distinct from other people. This is because they only and only they can change the reflection in the mirror. Sense of identity can never be formed. No. Certain age. No. Observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. Okay. Let's see if they say anything about it. Distinct and no, they don't say anything about that. Alright, let's move on, and we got to see Dunn is not there, so that's why we are not going to read about him. Now we move on to the next page and see if they mention other people. Alright, so let's go on. Now we got to see Colley once again here, and we see if there is anything which is related to Colley. Alright. So they say here Colley and other researchers suggested close connection between a person's own understanding of their identity and other people's understanding. Colley believed that people build up, now one thing is this, Colley believed that people build up their sense of identity from the reactions of others to them and from the view they believe others have of them. Okay, he called the self as object, the looking glass self. Since people come to see themselves as they are reflected in others, and then there is Mead. So let's see if there is anything about this. A sense of identity can never be formed without no. At a certain age, children's sense of identity leads no. Observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness? No, not so far. Okay, now we read about Mead. Where is Mead? Here. Mead, 1934, went even further and saw the self and the social reflected in others. Alright. And the social world as inextricably bound together. So Mead saw the self and the social world as inextricably bound together. The self is essentially a social structure and it arises in social experience. It is possible to conceive of a self arising outside of social experience. That's what he says. Now we got to go back and see. A sense of identity can never be formed. Sense of identity can never be formed without relationships and with other people. See that here. Went even further and saw the self and the social world as inextricably bound together. The self is essentially a social structure. Self is social structure and it arises in social experiences. It is impossible to conceive of a self arising outside of social experience. Means self is nothing outside social experience, and sense of identity can never be formed without relationships with other people, without relationships with other people, for that he says social experience. Wow. So this is said by Mead. A sense of identity can never be formed without relationship with other people. Mead is D. So for question number 20, the answer is D. It's getting stormy actually, Alright, now we are left with two options. And one name can be used twice as well. That's why we cannot cross them. At a certain age, children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior. Observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. So Mead is done here. Now we got Lewis and Brooks Gunn. So let's see what is it that he says. Lewis and Brooks Gunn argued that an important developmental milestone is reached when children become able to recognize themselves visually, okay, without the support of seeing contingent movement. Okay, this recognition occurs around their second birthday. In one experiment, Lewis and Brooks and dabbed some red powder, and this is their experiment. So mainly says that an important developmental milestone is reached when children become able to recognize themselves visually without the support of seeing contingent movement, and this recognition occurs and all that. So at a certain age, children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior. No. Observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. Observing their own reflection. Milestone is reached when children become able to recognize themselves visually. Alright, become able to recognize themselves visually without the support of seeing contingent movement. Okay, observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. That's right. So for that they are saying become able to recognize themselves visually without the support of seeing contingent movement. This recognition occurs around their second birthday, and then he talks about this experiment. So this is basically observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. And by the way, he talks about self-awareness here. Argued that important developmental milestone, this is reached when children become able to recognize themselves, and for that they are using observing their own reflection contributes to children's self-awareness. Now this is said by Lewis and Brooks Gunn, and Lewis and Brooks Gunn is C. That is why for 23 the answer is C. Okay, now we are left with one question. At a certain age, children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior, and that is anger and anything like that. So let's go on, and we are going to see. Again, Lewis and Brooks Gunn, we are looking for aggressive behavior and all that stuff. Would be surprised. Red mark, okay, we've read already. Finally, perhaps, got Bronson here, so let's see. Okay, he says perhaps the most graphic expressions of awareness generally can be seen in the displays of rage. Wow, wow, wow. Aggressive behavior. Finally, perhaps the most graphic expressions of self. So you guys can do it through scanning as well. Perhaps the most graphic expressions of self-awareness in general can be seen in the displays of rage, which are most common from 18 months to 3 years of age. At a certain age. For certain age, they are using 15 to 18 months, right? Children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior, and for aggressive behavior, they are actually using the word rage. Okay, I'm sorry, you just highlighted this one actually, it's here, sorry, overjoyed and all that. So, displays of rage which are most common from 18 months to 3 years of age. Alright, now who said that? In a longitudinal study of group of 3-4 children, Bronson. So actually all that is linked to Bronson, right? Now let me tell you, for certain age, they are using 18 months to 3 years of age, right? Then own reflection contributes to children's, I'm lost actually. Children's sense of identity leads to aggressive behavior, and for this they say perhaps the most graphic expressions of self-awareness in general can be seen in the displays of rage, which are most common from this age in a longitudinal study of group of 3, and then they give the detail. So this is by Bronson, and Bronson is option E. That is why for question number 22 the answer is E. Oh my God, OMG. Welcome back. How are you feeling now? I know it's tricky, but you need a lot of practice in the right direction with my techniques and tricks, and then IELTS reading will not be a problem for you. This will work out gradually, so don't worry. Step by step, day after day, everything is going to be better. Okay guys, if you like this video, just share this video with others so that they know what's going on in the world of IELTS. Okay, I know you've got many friends who are doing IELTS, so you must share these videos among your friends. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub truly wishes you all the best. Take care. Allah Hafiz.